Hey guys, this is going to be a quick video today. I know you're all busy with Christmas shopping and whatnot, so I'll keep it short and sweet. So this is a topic that just kind of popped into my head, excuse the pun. And it's about joints cracking, popping, making weird noises, things like that. So first of all, why it happens and should you be concerned and what to do about it. So I'll explain kind of what a joint does. We think of joints as just two bones meeting, but there's a little bit more than that going on. So any joint that moves or allows movement is called synovial joint. And around that joint, so let's say you have two bones meeting, they won't actually meet. So they don't actually touch, and in between there's fluid, and all around the joint is this fluid contained in the synovial sac. The fluid has gas in it as well. So as the joint moves kind of to its end range, the pressure builds, and then the gas actually can get popped into a bubble. It's that forming of the bubble or cavity that creates that popping noise. So if you do it with your knuckles or whatever, I can't really do it right now, but it'll create that pop. It takes a while for the gas to get absorbed back into the fluid, and that's why you can't pop your knuckles twice in a row. That's why I can't do it right now, because I was doing it as I was thinking about this. There's one. And so that's kind of that popping noise. Now sometimes you'll hear it in your knee or your ankle or maybe, and if you can't kind of do it again and it's a little bit of a loud, distinctive pop, that's what's going on. It's just the pressure change in the joint. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just what happens when the joint gets to its end range. So they're fine. There's nothing really wrong with that unless you feel pain. The next kind of thing you'll feel is cracking or clicking on a constant basis. So that's something that you can do again and again. And we could probably all pick a joint that if you move around, you'll constantly get a click and a crack. That's a little bit different. Again, if there's no pain, nothing really to worry about right now, but definitely something to be addressed. And this is why we do mobility work and stuff like that always in the training sessions. And that can be down to misalignment of the joint. So sometimes around the joint, there might be certain muscles that are really tight and or other muscles that are not so tight. So this can create a little bit of a misalignment as the joint starts to move, and that can just start to create that noise when things aren't moving quite right. The reason that you'll have tight muscles is that these muscles are trying to hold onto the joint. They're stabilizing in this position. Now, as the joint moves out of that position, if the other muscles around that joint can't stabilize, if they're not active enough, this joint will try to hold it in place. It doesn't like being unstable, so it'll try to hold it. But as you move further towards that, it starts to destabilize a little bit, and then it can kind of move out of alignment because this muscle is trying to hold it in place while something else is trying to move it out, and that's where you get that from. So the solution to that is kind of what we do all the time, mobility versus just stretching. Because if you just stretch the joint, yeah, you're lengthening the muscle that's creating tightness, but you're not doing anything for the muscles that are not picking up the slack, that are not doing the work, are not stabilizing the joint. So when we do the kind of like the external rotation stuff, any stuff for the hips on the floor, all that kind of stuff that we're doing, that you usually do at the start, the lunges, the grasshoppers, they're actively moving your joints into these ranges of motion so the other muscles can start to work and help that alignment, correct that alignment, I suppose, instead of just stretching a muscle out and then there's no build up on the other side. So, and then the other thing is then we're just physical beings. So any of you done anatomy, or if you've ever seen like a body without the skin, without the blood, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of like ligaments crossing, they cross over each other. There's muscles, tendons, nerves, just moving around can create noise. Any physical thing that touches off another physical thing is going to create some noise. As our bodies move around, certain things are going to be rubbing off each other, crossing over each other, and that's just that noise. So that's usually nothing to be worried about. So the bottom line basically is, if there's no pain, don't worry about it. But do work on the stability and stuff of the joints. And that's why I always say to you guys, if you're short on time or energy, or you're just feeling kind of lazy, or you haven't worked out in a while and you want to get back into it, start with the mobility work. Start with the stuff that's going to get your body aligned, that's going to help it feel a little bit better. So even if you're not building your strength or your cardio or whatever, at least when you do go back to it, or at least like when you carry on to your day-to-day life, your body will be aligned. You'll be a lot healthier in that sense. So that's just over 5 minutes, so I don't want to take any longer. So that's really it. If it doesn't hurt, don't worry about it, but keep doing your mobility work.